All right, this is going to be part two of the wiring and plumbing up of our fuel pump. As you can see, let's recap on the last time. We've got the fuel filter in place. Hoses and wires are secured coming from the fuel tank up to where the fuel filter is. We've got our loom continuing up front. I had to get some more wire loom and I was waiting for two pieces. I have an extension piece here and a male-to-male adapter so that I can then mount my fuel pressure gauge coming off the back of the throttle body and clear the air cleaner. I've got some more wire loom. The plan is to go ahead and run our fuel line and our wire loom up the frame rail, and we'll secure it, and then we'll leave enough wire so that regardless of where I need the wire, whether it's on the passenger side or on the driver's side, we should have enough wire to reach wherever we have to get to basically the main controls of the EFI system, where that's going to be located. I'm pretty sure it's going to be on the firewall wall, more toward the passenger side, but I'm not going to know till I get the tub on there. The fuel line will come up the back. I'm going to leave some slack in it. I will connect it because I'm planning on running the motor in the chassis, hopefully even before I get the tub on. But I want to make sure I have plenty of hose. I'll probably cut it a foot or two long, and then I can always cut it to fit. What's nice about the AN fittings is they are reusable, so I can remove any fitting I put on there and I can cut the hose down to the proper length once the firewall is in place and I see where it's going to be mounted along the firewall, and secure it up to the back of the throttle body. All right, so we're going to go ahead and get set up. We're going to go ahead and get our pieces put into the back of the throttle body. We're going to go ahead and get our hose end for the other side of the filter so we can then start running our loom and our wire along the frame rail and mounting those. So be right back. All right, first thing we're going to do is get our fuel pressure gauge assembled and put some sealant on the threads. Get that threaded into the adapter for it. Then we'll go ahead and connect our male-to-male adapter to our extension, and then get this secured onto the back of the throttle body. Okay, so I'm going to clamp this into the vise piece that I have for this and go ahead and get that secured. Okay, got our gauge secured, sealed into the adapter. Have these two pieces locked together. The nice thing about these AN fittings is you snug them up, but you just don't have to kill them. If you put them too tight, if you go too hard with them, you will damage the ends, because they are just aluminum, but they're very strong and sturdy, and they make a nice seal. And it just got to snug them up good. That's all you have to do. You don't have to kill them. So we're going to get in position to put these in place, and we'll come back and show you how that looks. Okay, here's the throttle body. Air cleaner's off. Again, this is our return. This is capped on. This is tightened down and secured. Here's our 6AN fitting for our fuel line to come in. Get this screwed on. All right. And this is why we had to use the adapter, because the way our hose ends are, being they're all female hose ends, we needed to have a male end coming out to attach to it. Sorry, I'm fumbling there a bit, but I'm trying to do this one-handed. And now the nice thing about these ends is they are swivel ends, so you'll be able to loosen it up and basically set the position of this gauge to wherever you're most comfortable with it. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and snug those up, and then we'll show you how it clears with the air cleaner on. All right, have everything snugged up. It's nice and tight. Have a nice little angle on it, so when you're standing over, looking this up over the fender, you can see this nice and clearly. I'm going to go ahead and put the air cleaner back on. You'll be able to see how this will clear. It'll clear where our throttle cable comes up completely. And then we have a male end here, so when I'm coming up with the fuel line around the firewall, not sure what my distance is going to be here. I may not do a straight end because that may give me too tight of a radius. I think I'm going to bring the hose up and put a 90-degree hose end on it. This way I can hook right onto it, and then I'll have it secured onto the firewall, which will give that hose support, and but yet allow for some movement. So let's go ahead and get the air cleaner back on. All right, and that's how it looks once it's together. So I'm going to go ahead and get my hose out, get my straight hose end in to attach to the filter, get wire loom on this on the harness here, so we can then start securing it. And probably have to do at least 2 more sets of mounts like we did over here. And then I'm gonna probably stop right around here with our mounts for securing it, so that I can move it accordingly once I get the tub in place, and then get it fastened to the tub. I do have heat products, heat wrap that I'll probably end up putting on the fuel line and on the loom if needed, just to protect it from the exhaust. I think the exhaust is low enough and out of the way, but we'll see that once I get the exhaust back in. Okay, have the wiring harness loomed up, and did actually cut it. Just have it looped over there right on the body mount, because until I get the tub on and see where it's going to be routed, not quite sure where that's going to go, how long it's going to be, but I have plenty of extra in there, so pretty much regardless of where it goes in the engine compartment, I should be able to reach it no problem. The fuel line, I have probably about an extra foot and a half of more line than I really need. I'm going to put a 90-degree end on it now and bring it right up to the fitting. But again, I'll trim that down once the tub's in place and I get the final routing and running along the firewall. Just wanted to make sure that it was long enough. Can always cut hose off. I mean, you can always add to it as well, I guess, if you don't mind having it pieced together. But you know, I'd rather trim it down as needed. So we're going to go ahead and get the hose end on this so we can get this connected, and then we'll be able to wrap things up for this. Okay, and that final connection is now made. So I put a 90-degree on here. I don't know if it's going to work. Again, I don't know quite how much room I'm going to have from here to the firewall. The tub there is a recess here, so I don't know if I'll be able to come in with a straight fitting. I don't know how close this is going to be. I might even need to get more of a 45-degree hose end. I have plenty of hose. Again, depending on where I have to route it on the firewall, whether I have to go around the battery or, you know, I wanted to make sure I had plenty. So if I had to go around the battery mount and then come across the top of that on the firewall, I could. But we'll definitely obviously see how that goes, and we'll address that in future videos. When the exhaust is done, we'll get that mounted on and then see, you know, what we have to do down here. Again, that's going to probably be more when the tub goes on, before we, you know, so we get a final positioning here, as well as if we have to wrap any of this. I think the exhaust is going to sit low enough and far enough away from it that it's not an issue, but, you know, I have heat wrap, so better safe than sorry, so I may end up putting that on. But that concludes this video. This is for the, again, plumbing and wiring of our electric fuel pump. I hope this helps anybody out there. If you have any comments or suggestions, please feel free to leave them below. If you like what we're doing here, please feel free to like and subscribe. Thank you very much and have a great day.